In this series of stories, I will tell the events that happened to superhero John. In the first chapters of our series, I will talk about how John knew he was going to be a superhero. As a child, John was an intelligent student who studied hard in his studies. His teachers loved him very much. He always treated his family members well and was very loved among family members. He played nice games with his friends and treated them very well. One day, he woke up early in the morning. With the first rays of the sun, he opened his eyes to the new day and said, "Hello." Since no one has woken up yet, he started to study for his exams. After working for about 2 hours, he lifted his head from his book with the sound of footsteps in his ear and saw his mother in front of him. His mother kissed him and said, "Good morning, son." Then his mother went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. John walked into the room to wake his father, Michael. He went through the door and said to his father, "Good morning, Daddy. It's morning. Get up and go to work." His father turned to John and said, "Good morning, son," and they went to the kitchen together. Meanwhile, his mother Lisa has prepared breakfast. They ate very useful things for breakfast and drank freshly squeezed orange juice. They finished their breakfast chatting cheerfully, and John went to his room to put on his school clothes. His school clothes were lying on his desk, washed and ironed by his mother, Lisa, the previous day. John bent down to pick up his clothes and put them on. Because he loved school very much, he went to school every day very excited and happy. He kissed his mother Lisa and his father Michael and left the house. Since he went to school by bus, he and his friend Richard played a little ball while waiting for the bus. Then the bus came and they got on and started to make their way to the school. During the trip, they had fun chatting with their friends. His friend Richard was a student who didn't study hard. John always told him that he had to study for his studies and that he would have a good job in the future. After a nice journey, the shuttle arrived at the school. John and his friend Richard walked into the classroom and took their seats. Her friends also came to the classroom slowly, and finally the bell rang and their teacher Amber entered the classroom. Amber distributed the exam papers to her students and said that the exam had begun since John studied very well for the exam. He immediately started solving the questions. His friend Richard tried to cheat on John for not studying for the exam. When their teacher Amber noticed this, she came to Richard and said, "What are you doing? This is very wrong behavior. Your friends did, but you didn't study, and you are showing it by cheating." And he separated his two friends from each other. At the end of the exam, Richard came to John crying. "You better study for the next test, Richard," said John. While talking to John Richard, it was noticed that there was something strange in his speech. Richard asked what happened. John said, "There's nothing. I'm talking as usual. What kind of weirdness could it be?" Richard, on the other hand, said, "I guess I misunderstood," and they went home after school. Yes, friends, we have come to the end of our first episode. In episode 2, John will go to the forest with his classmates and begin to realize his superpowers. See you in the new episode. Goodbye.